rise as the world's only superpower, you might recognize some of the names on this list. The daughter of the Chaldeans. The nation that the Jewish people helped rise to superpower status is the United States of America. The U.S. today has the most powerful economy and military, controls worldwide commerce, is proud and arrogant, has the most developed air force and space program, and is the envy of the world. It houses the whore of Babylon, is the daughter of the British Empire, and the child of the Chaldeans. And unfortunately, for every living American, Mystery Babylon. Why? Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. Howl for her. Take balm for her pain. If so be she may be healed. A sound of a cry cometh from Babylon, and great destruction from the land of the Chaldeans. Because the Lord hath spoiled Babylon, and destroyed out of her the great voice. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death, and mourning, and famine, and she shall be burned with fire, for strong is the Lord God who judgeth her. At the noise of the taking of Babylon, the earth is moved, and the cry is heard among the nations. Sit thou silent, and get thee into darkness, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called the Lady of Kingdoms. All three prophets tell of the fall of Babylon, the destruction of the United States of America as we know it. This is not an event that happened to ancient Babylon in the past. History has never recorded the fall of a state or a city in the way described by the prophets. And just like all the events accurately predicted by the Bible, the two world wars, the rise and fall of communism, and the return of the Jewish people to their homeland, and so many others, this too will happen. The only questions left to ask are, who will cause its fall, when, and how?
Isaiah 13:5. They come from a far country, from the end of heaven, even the Lord, and the weapons of his indignation, to destroy the whole land. Jeremiah 50:3. For out of the north there cometh up a nation against her, which shall make her land desolate. Jeremiah 50:9. For I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country. Now draw a straight line north of the U.S. through the Arctic, the end of heaven, and you will find the answer. Russia is the great enemy of Babylon, the enemy destined to destroy it. The Holy Scriptures is again very precise. Even though it has been written centuries before the U.S. or Russia became world powers, it clearly describes both countries that are prophesied to start World War III. And at the start of the World War III, Russia will use a very special weapon, the weapon of indignation, against the whole territory of the U.S., and then lead the invasion of a great assembly of nations. Now that we know who is responsible, the next logical question is, when will it happen?
As you have seen before, we are going through the biblical end times. Babylon America has fulfilled the prophecies that foretold its coming, and now, according to the Bible, it will meet its demise. The clues about when the great disaster shall befall it are hidden in the book of Daniel, another major biblical prophet. In chapter 1140 of his prophecies describes a great war fought by two kings at the end times, one from the north and one from the south. So, if we could connect these two kings to two current world leaders, we would know how close we are to the destruction of Babylon. The key to understanding the clue of the two kings is the position of Jerusalem, because this is where Daniel had his revelations. To the north of Jerusalem is Moscow, birthplace of Vladimir Putin. What else does the prophecy say about the king of the north? And the king shall do according to his will. Putin does what he wants. He controls the media, the military, and the economy of Russia. Neither shall he regard the gods of his fathers, nor regard any god, for he shall magnify himself above all. The fact that God's is not written with a capital letter is a clear clue to what exactly the prophet is referring to: communism. The gods of the communists are Lenin, Marx, Stalin, who have ruled Russia for over 80 years. They are practically worshipped by the Russian people, and statues and pictures of them were everywhere across the USSR. But as prophecy foretold,